Neuron. So what is neuron? Neuron is nothing but a nerve cell. It is the basic unit of nervous system. Like any other body cell, it has nucleus and organelles. But there is two big differences seen here. That neuron has branches and it does not contain any centrosome. So branches as such, axon and dendrites. And these are used for sending and receiving the messages. No centrosome, which actually means that it cannot divide. The neuron cannot divide or make new neurons after birth. Okay. Now, classification of neuron. It is classified in three simple ways. First is, it is based on the number of poles and branches. First one is based on number of poles and branches. How many processes come out of the cell body through the poles or the branches? First one is the unipolar, next is bipolar, and last one is multipolar. Unipolar, as the name suggests, it has only one branch. Bipolar, it has two branches, and multipolar, which means it has many branches. So many branches is the many processes that come out of the cell body. Now the next one is based on the function or the job the neuron does. It is divided again into three types. First one is sensory, next is motor, and the third one is the interneuron. Now sensory means it actually carries signals to the brain or spinal cord from the parts of the body. Okay. Example, from skin to brain. Now motor is nothing but carrying signals from the brain or spinal cord to the muscles. Okay. Example, from brain to hand or to legs, the signals are passed. Okay. In interneuron, the connection is one neuron connecting with the other neurons, nearby neurons. Okay. The connection between two neurons nearby is known as interneuron function, and it only happens in brain and spinal cord. Based on the axon length. Now the third classification is based on the axon length. Okay, how long the main cable is based on how long the axon length is, the axon cable is. Okay, this type 1 and type 2, Golgi type 1 and Golgi type 2. In Golgi type 1, it has long axon. Meaning, what will happen if there is long axon? The signals travel far. Okay, from the brain to the toe, probably to the legs. Yeah, from the brain to the leg. The signals travel far. Now in Golgi type 2, it has short axon. So it stays usually local, which is inside the brain only. Now we have just talked about interneuron, right? Signals from one neuron to other neuron. Interneuron connection connecting with the other neurons. It is seen only in brain and spinal cord. Same thing is happening here in Golgi type 2 because it is shorter axon length. It stays local. The connection stays local. Now the next one, classification depending on the poles. You can see poles is nothing but how many arms the neuron has. Okay. Now, how many arms the neuron has. Pole is the place on the cell body where the axon or dendrite comes out. Pole is nothing but the place on the cell body where the axon or dendrite, comes out. Okay. First, we just spoke about it, unipolar, bipolar and multipolar. So, first one is the unipolar. which has only one pole structure. It has axon and dendrite both. Both come from the same single point because it has only one pole. Both come out from the same single point. And where it is found only in babies before birth. It is not found in the adults, okay? It is like a T shape with only one exit. Now bipolar neuron, it has two poles. As the name suggests, it has two poles. How does it look structure? Axon comes out from one end and dendrite comes out from the other end. Okay. Where it is found in the sense organs. Example, ear, eyes, nose, like that. Okay. In simple way, you can remember that it is like a straight line with two ends. One for the axon, one for the dendrites. Axon. Okay. Next is the multipolar neuron. Multipolar neuron, it has many poles. Okay. How does it look like? The structure, one axon, but lots and lots of dendrites coming from many points. Okay. Lots and lots of dendrites coming from many points. Where it is found, it is the most common type. Multipolar neuron is the most common type. It is found in brain, spinal cord, all the motor nerves basically. Okay. In simple way, you can remember like a tree with many branches. Now this is the tree with many branches. Okay. This is how a multipolar neuron looks. Now, can you appreciate all of three? Unipolar, bipolar and multipolar neuron. Now, can you see a single elongated process is seen with the cell body located off to the side. Now, this is a cell body which is located off to the side way. So, this is the unipolar neuron. Now, bipolar neuron, it has two processes separated by the cell body. This is the cell body and it's separated into two processes. Okay. Now, multipolar neuron, it is nothing but it has more than two processes. Now, a single axon, this is a single axon, and multiple dendrites. Again, multiple dendrites. All of these. These are the processes we were talking about, and these are the dendrites. Now you get it, how a multipolar neuron looks. Now classification depending on the functioning. Functioning you can see now. It is motor and sensory. So motor is nothing but efferent neurons. Efferent is nothing but outgoing. You can remember it as exit. Okay. You can remember it as exit. And what is its job? It carries from brain or spinal cord to the body parts. So it is carrying from the brain or spinal cord to the body parts. And it goes to where? It goes to the blood vessels, glands, muscles, like that. Okay. And how does its structure look like? It has a long axon and short dendrites. This is a cell body, short dendrites, long axon. So that the messages travels far. Long axon means the messages can be traveled far. Okay. Now, sensory or afferent neurons is nothing but incoming. The signals are incoming signals. Okay. Now, what is its job? It carries information from the body to the brain or spinal cord. So, it usually comes from the skin, eyes, ears, all these sensory organs. From there it comes to the body, to the brain or spinal cord. From the body to brain and spinal cord. And what is its structure? How does it look? It has short axon and long dendrites. It is completely opposite to the efferent. Okay? It picks up the signals from the body. Basically, what does it do? Afferent or sensory, it picks up the signals from the body. So, the signals are incoming from the body to the brain or spinal cord. Now, can you see this image here? What is happening? You can see it, the direction. You can see from the body to the CNS, which is brain or spinal cord. Example, you touch in sensory, what is happening? Which is efferent. Nothing but arrival. What do you do when you touch something hot? Okay, the brain, the skin sends that sensation of hot to the brain directly. So the message sent to brain, the brain will act immediately and the reflex takes place that you immediately withdraw your hand. Okay. So this thing, what is happening? The skin is sending the information, hot message to the brain. Like a reporter sending news to the headquarters. Like a headquarters. Okay. Now what is happening here? Efferent is nothing but arrival to the CNS. Now efferent, which is motor nerve. What is happening here? It takes the orders from CNS, which is from the brain or spinal cord. So for example, what is, we can say here, brain says move your hand. This is the muscle here. Brain says move your hand. Then immediately that message goes to the muscle and it acts. You move your hand from that place. Your muscle acts here. So like a boss sending, like a boss, it sends commands to the workers. These are the workers which do their job. Okay. So efferent is nothing but exit. You can remember as exit. Exit from the CNS. So the information coming from the body to the CNS is the arrival, which is efferent nerve, sensory nerve, whereas the information traveling from the CNS to the body, muscles or anything, that is the efferent nerve, motor nerve, exiting the information. That is how you can remember here. Now, based on the axon length, how far the messages travel here? We just have seen the classification Golgi Type I and Golgi Type II. Golgi Type I, it has long axon. So, the message axon being very long, it sends messages to far places. It sends messages to far places. Example, neuron in the brain with axon going all the way to the toe. So, the brain sends information to the toe. Whereas in Golgi Type II, it has short axon. So, the axon being very short, its job is to talk to nearby neurons only. Okay. Found in basically brain cortex and spinal cord. Now, can you see here? Golgi Type I, Type II. Axon length is long. This is short. Okay. Now you can see, being it very short, the neurons in brain talking to the next door neighbors only can be happening in Golgi Type II, interneuron. Whereas Golgi Type I, it sends messages to farther places like, toe, leg, like that. Only in one area of brain and spinal cord the interneuron connection can be seen here. Now, structure of neuron. It has three types, three parts. The three main parts of structure of neuron is nerve cell body, dendrites and axon. Now, can you appreciate dendrites? Cell body. This is axon hillock. The connection from the cell body to axon. This is the axon. Axon terminals. Okay. This is a similar diagram. This is the Schwann. This is the Schwann cell. And this is the myelin sheath. And the gaps here is known as nodes of Ranvier. We'll talk about this in further slides. Now we'll talk about nerve cell body. Nerve cell body, it consists of soma. Can you see here? Soma. This is soma. This is soma. Nerve cell body. It is the control center basically, and it is irregular in shape. It is control center and it is irregular and in shape. What does it contain? It contains of mainly nucleus, Nissl bodies, neurofibrils, mitochondria and Golgi apparatus. So nucleus is the one big nucleus it contains of in the center, and it does not have any centrosome, as we spoke in earlier slides as well, that it does not contain a centrosome, due to which neuron can't divide or multiply. Then Nissl bodies, it is seen only in neurons, found in where it is found in soma and dendrites. Can you see here soma? This is the soma. It is found in here, and dendrites, Nissl bodies. Okay. It is not seen in the axon. So this is the axon. With or without myelin sheaths, it is not seen in the axon. And what does this Nissl bodies do? It helps in making proteins. So its main function is to make proteins. And it disappears when neuron is tired or injured. Whenever it comes back after rest, again the Nissl bodies come back, because it helps in making proteins and it gives the energy. And what is neurofibrils? It is nothing but a thread-like network, and also only in neurons you can see. You can see Nissl bodies and neurofibrils only in neurons. And it gives support. It is like a support system for the neurons. Mitochondria, obviously everybody knows about it from the basics, that it is a powerhouse cell. Then it makes the ATP energy. Golgi apparatus, they help in packing the proteins. It packs the proteins. Proteins made by the Nissl bodies. Now can you see here free ribosomes, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria. This is the microtubule, nucleus, neurofilaments, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now we'll be talking about the next part, which is the dendrites. Dendrites are short and branched receivers. They are branched receivers. So what is its structure? It looks like a tree. And it has many branches which are short. It has many branches. And what does it contain? Dendrites contain Nissl bodies and neurofibrils. Dendrites also contain Nissl bodies and neurofibrils. That is what we saw here also, right? Soma and dendrites contain Nissl bodies and neurofibrils. Okay? And what does it do? Its job, it brings messages to the cell body. From outside to the cell body, it brings the messages to the cell body. This is the cell body, right? It brings the messages to the cell body. It can bring many also, not just 0, 1 or many number. Then is the axon. Axon is nothing but it is long, and what does it do? It is a sender. Now it is a sender. What does its structure be? It has only one, it is only one for one neuron, and it is very long and can be about 1 meter long length. It starts from axon hillock on cell body. Now this is axon hillock. This is the axon we were talking about. It is very long, approximately 1 meter. It starts from axon hillock. Okay. Now what is its job? It takes messages away from the cell body. It takes messages away from the cell body. It takes messages away from the cell body. Now what does this do? It receives messages, dendrites, and this nerve endings it will take outside the cell body. Send outside the cell body. Now this is the cell body. Dendrites receive, whereas axon nerve endings they send. Now they send the messages from the cell body. Inside axon, what does it contain? It contains axoplasm plus covering axolemma. Together it is known as an axis cylinder.